Renee here. I just wanted to try to quickly show you guys how to do the financials since it's coming up really soon. They are due on June 15th, so please get them in. If for some reason you can't get them in before then, let me know and I can help you file for an extension. But really, it's better to just get it done. All right, so this is over here on the left is the financial report we're going to be filling out. And over here on the right is a pretend bank statement. I just kind of made some stuff up. All these parts in the red, do not write in any of that. If you write in any of the red boxes or type in there, it's not going to add up correctly and it's not going to work. So you're only going to type in the yellow boxes. Up here, I've already filled out that information. We are Service Unit 505, if you didn't know that. So you just fill that out with your information. Down here at the bottom, you'll fill these two boxes in before submitting the actual report. You don't fill these in every month, but you'll have at the end, you have the ending balance that you are showing on the bank statement. And right here is going to have the ending balance of what it's adding up for you. And those two numbers need to match before you turn it in. You also will put, so for me, the ending on my pretend statement would be 394.39. And hopefully those will match when I'm done. The account balance is going to be used for next year. Oops. All right. So now down here in account number 1, this is the actual ledger. So the beginning balance, you just do this for the very beginning of the year, that beginning balance. So it's whatever you have beginning June 1st of last year. So for me, that's going to be this one, 515.97. And now that will actually, that number, you can see if you go to the annual report up here at the top, it's automatically filled that in for me right there. Checking account 2, most people don't have 2, but if you did, you'd go to account 2 and this would be the ledger for that account. I just have 1. All right, so now I'm going to start typing in the information. You're basically just taking the information from your bank statement and moving it over. I do this every single month. I take whatever's on that month's bank statement and add it so it's not so overwhelming and it's easier to catch mistakes if I have typos or whatever. Okay, this column is either the check number, DC stands for your debit card if you used a card, or if it's a deposit or a fee. So this first one is going to be a DC. And that the payee is who you paid to or who the money came from. So Girl Scouts of LA. And this was for membership fees, which I can do in this category. You hit this little or this little triangle. It's not membership income. You would do that if your parents pay the fees every year. My troop, we just do a yearly dues, and that helps to cover the cost of membership fees as well as other expenses. So this is a membership expense. For the amount is $90. I don't have to hit the negative 90 because this form already knows it's a negative because it's an expense. All right, so then, whoops. Now here is a deposit. Now this came through PayPal. That's how we do most of our, we have it for our cookies, of course, but then also whenever I collect money from parents, it's just easier to collect it on PayPal. And so this was dues. This is income troop group dues. 150. So you're just going to continue to fill this in for every transaction. Now here's a check number. 1020. So it should say that on your bank statement. It'll say, I think on mine it actually says tracer number, but here I just put check. For a Girl Scout store, in the notes, I'm going to put what did I use that money for. So this was for patches. Just to add a little bit more detail, especially for when you send this to parents so they know just exactly what you're spending the money on. Now this is for program supplies. There's also equipment. You can use that for if you buy a canopy or a table or anything that kind of stays with your troop, camping equipment. Program activities is something you actually go and do, like horseback riding, or if they take a class somewhere, service projects. You just pick whatever the best category, just use your best judgment. No one's nitpicking your financials. And that was $15.34. Okay. This was for, let's say this is for the flower badge. And again, this is a program supply. Program supplies is what you're probably using the most for expenses. It's like patches, meeting supplies, stuff like that. And the California Science Center. The Science Center has awesome programs with like classes that my girls have done a few times and they love them. So in the notes I'll just put, we'll call this the Lights and Optics class. It's really fun for the girls and they get a fancy badge. And so that's a program activity. And again, I don't have to put the negative for any expenses. It automatically does that. Now, lastly, I have my bank last year just started charging us a monthly checking fee of $5 a month. So I'll put a note here for monthly checking fee. And this is going to be an other expense. Other is just for any, if you can't figure out where else to put it, just put it in other. And those ones you definitely want to have a note for what that's talking about. Okay, so let's make sure that this all adds up. So I have this whole month in here, and I do this again every month. I double check this. After I enter that month, I go into the report, go to the bottom right here, and make sure that that box matches what the bank statement says. And if you keep up with that every month, you'll catch any mistakes if there are any, and that's really easy. So mine matches, so we're good. I type in, now let's pretend I'm all done for this year's bank statement or for this year's financials. So I type in this year's ending balance, that matches, the bank matches what I say, and I've typed that in. Now I'm going to save this to my computer. Let's call this the pretend financials. All right, so now if you click on this link, let's see if this works. It doesn't work. I'll show you where. I'll give you the actual link to where to submit that. Or you can follow, you can copy that website, I guess, or follow these directions. So you're going to go to the Girl Scout LA website, click on Forms up at the top, scroll down a bit to the Finance Report Submittal e-form. If you ever can't find where to submit this, or if you can't find any of the forms, just email me and I can help you. So So we're going to choose our reason. We're submitting financials. You also come here if I or if Girl Scouts need you, if you're missing something that you already turned it in, but you just forgot the ledger or whatever. You would just submit a missing or corrected document. So you don't have to refill out the entire form. You can just fill out that little bit. So I go to financials. I have taken the webinar, existing troop. You're just going to fill this out. Again, we are 505 is our service unit. 10295 is my troop number. I am the leader and the treasurer. This is the year-end financials. You also need to do this if your troop disbands. If you stop being a troop, you need to fill this out with and that could be any time during the year, so with whatever your ending balance is. So you're basically just going to fill this out. The autofill report ledger, if you do it the way I just showed you, then you would be saying yes. And you're going to do select files. And here are my pretend financials that I am submitting. And right there, it's right there. If I said no, then I would have to do this separate. You still have to fill out the first page, the actual finance report, but you have to add up all those numbers for the categories yourself. And then here's where you'd have to upload your separate ledger if you did that, if you made your own. So you just fill the rest of this out. I'm not going to actually submit it because this isn't my real one. But after you hit submit, you should get an email confirming that you submitted it. If you don't get that, you could try submitting it again or contact me to see if it came through on my end, and I'll help you with that. All right, so thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help. All right, have a great day.